Okay, so our second speaker is Dr. Shlomit, Aharoni Lir, a postdoctoral scholar at Bar Ilan University. In her research, she focuses on gender, communication, and culture. She is particularly interested in how underprivileged social groups represent themselves and are depicted in cultural and digital spheres. Her research expertise include exploring and theorizing gendered aspects of the cinematic world, civic society, and digital arenas. Dr. Aharoni Lir is an academic advisor for the Council of Promoting Women in Science and Technology in the Israel Ministry of Innovation, Science, and Technology. She has won numerous awards, including the Israeli Golda Award from the Ministry of Innovation, Science, and Technology. She has written several books and published papers in central international journals. As a feminist activist, she is the founder and CEO of Women Activists Online, a hub initiative designed to promote women's leadership through social media.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Okay, so I used to be in high tech as well. And as it was said here, if I would leave before 7, even if there was no work, everyone stayed late, just to show that you're serious. But I'm going to talk about something else today. I'm going to talk about women in Israeli high-tech industry. And why I'm talking about it is not only because there are less women in high-tech industry, but because the future is already here, and there's going to be an amazing shortage of women, of personnel in high-tech. And the importance of the gender aspect is first that we want more women to create our industry, our technology. We want AI that is gender sensitive, which is not happening right now. AI, artificial intelligence. And because in high tech, I used to make so much money and it's really a great opportunity for women to get higher pay and get change their position in society. However, right now, women are only about 33% of high-tech industry in Israel. It's even less when we come to actual positions that are as developers, as in actual technology. When we talk, we saw already this little diagram there, the scissor curve, which means when we talk about academic life, women starts about 50% less in physics and science, but they start high, and the higher we go, we see less and less women in positions of leadership in academic world. So my research, which I won the Golda Award for, was when I came from Brandeis University, and I wanted to examine if I can use online environments like Facebook to enhance women's voices in STEM. So you can ask me why. Why online environments? Why not just a leadership workshop? Because sometimes you don't have to go straight. You can use something which is available, accessible, doesn't cost much, and really can give women the opportunity to voice themselves, to have a voice, to experience having a voice, to experience being part of a community online and offline. And that was what led me to my research. I did a similar research in my PhD. And in my PhD, I composed a theory of women ways to voice online. There's the book Women Ways to Knowledge. And similarly to this, I constructed a model starting with silence, online silence, even because you don't know how, having a passive digital voice, not really being involved, until really women started to develop their voice online. And what does it mean to develop your voice online? It means to be a public person. And part of being in the academic world is being a public person, being able to write your name on papers, being able to talk in conferences, being able to go and tell people, I need a raise, I'm interested in doing that, I'm interested in promoting projects. So what was the study about? It was a mixed method study aimed to address the underrepresentation of women in science and technology by exploring the effect of social media and group meetings on the advancement of women in this field. It employed an action research approach. I actually gave 2 workshops. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. And it included group meetings and the use of online tools to enhance sense of voice, sense of connection, and ability to lead. The goal of the workshop was to create supportive community for women and to equip them with skills that, for online and offline participation in knowledge building in order to advance their careers and increase their connection, self-representation, and confidence in their professional abilities. So this is really a different way of thinking about academic life, because a lot of times we get together, but we don't get connected. And the ability to get connected, as I'm going to show you, it doesn't happen by itself. You have to work on it in order to create a sense of solidarity, in order to create some kind of linkage. So it started with an online questionnaire with 36 responses before the workshop. There were 2 workshops, one with 15 participants, some of them from China, Korea, South Africa, and Holland. It was in Sde Boker in the south of Israel. I lived there for a year and a half. And it was a very interesting community. I'm going to talk about it. And there was another workshop with 10 participants. The workshop didn't cost any money. It was free. And it included, I built a website and a Facebook page for the group. And in the end of the research, I had a focus group and 8 in-depth interviews. So this is like the syllabus. You see, we had quite a few meetings. We celebrated Women's Day. We had the conference. And each meeting was like about 2.5 hours to 3 hours. And as said, it was a group meeting. This is the groups. I tried not that you cannot see the faces. This is the group Facebook page, the website. This is something someone uploaded on the group page. And this is a feedback after the workshop that the person posted online on Facebook that for the first time she headed a panel and she got a lot of likes for it. So it's showing already the change and the ability to share your thoughts about the process. So what are the findings? The power of the group. The group was really, really meaningful. Forget all the online stuff. The ability of women to get together and to talk proved to be of enormous importance, especially in Sde Boker because it's a very isolated place. And part of the power of the group is coming out of loneliness. A lot of women researchers talked about the way they are stuck in their laboratory all day. They don't even say hello to their researcher across the room. And they felt very, very lonely in this field. And the group and the talk really allowed them to come out of their shell. Enhanced sense of confidence and influence. Again, sense of courage, I'm going to talk about what it means, and a stronger sense of voice. And the voice is really, really important in this research. So here are some examples. When we are meeting together, for some reason, there is more commitment. Also because we are a group. When there is commitment that starts with a group, there is a beginning of a process. So once I came here, I see the process. If I wasn't here, I would never write a post on Facebook, so the commitment to the group encouraged me to start a process. We encouraged each other. The fact that we support each other in this process. If I would write the first post and no one from the group would comment, it would be a little different. Laugh. Also, the fact that we share in a kind of way same weaknesses. So it is like I'm not alone with it. It is not just me that is afraid of things. Fear was a constant aspect also in the questionnaire before, but during the workshop as well. There was also a great, one day someone came with the term, the fear, the imperness, איך קוראים לזה? לא, when you think that you are not real, that you imperness, imposter syndrome. Once we talked about the imposter syndrome, everyone took in, everyone felt that they are not deserving their place, and it really was, the group allowed talking about the fear and understanding that you're not alone in it, that others feel the same. So that was really a very important part of the process. Here is another remark. It's by the same person, I see. The group is very supportive. Even though we are very different, we have a common fear. I think the group gave me the courage to do things. For example, to write posts. I know if no one will give me feedback, someone in the group do. This is very important. This is the force of the team. Of course, in the previous example, she talks about Facebook, but this went far behind that to writing and participating in workshop. And here is another example of overcoming loneliness in the field. One of the things I take from the workshop is the group. I didn't know the other women, and it is a good place to meet women who are not only from my study or from my age group. I truly like it. It gives me perspective, mostly not to feel alone. This thing of talking about ourselves and encouraging each other is important to me. We really live in a post-feminist, unfortunately, era in which we imagine that we are all over it. But when I actually meet, and I met a lot of women during this research and other research, you really understand how far we still have to go, unfortunately. And here is another example. What I felt about Sde Boker and the campus is that everyone is alone. So true. It's like an incredible place. Total deserts, mountains, you see, and there are few people who are living there, but there's no community. There's no community because no one thought of creating it. In a cocoon, working alone, writing alone. And the opportunity to find each other and make it relevant to it. So having many ideas in the same place is serious. I feel this group is creating something that expands the self and enlarges the possibility to make a change in the world and make it bigger than each individual. Very nice words. So enhanced sense of influence as leaders, as women in STEM or in academic life, we really want to that our words will touch, that they will change, that they will move in the world. And this was one of the results. Let's see. I receive a lot of feedback from both the field and outside of it. Recently, someone told me how many things you do. I feel that these waves have an effect. It also strengthens me on a personal level. It's rare for me to receive feedback on what I'm doing, especially as a doctoral student. There were doctoral students and postdocs. I may receive feedback from authors, but not from my colleagues. So the whole idea of going out in the world, sharing what you do as a researcher online really allowed women to get feedback and really gain a sense that they're influential, that the world reach people, that they really appreciate and own their work and their academic work. I now also publish and write about the things I do as part of my work, and I also bring in my perspective. When I receive cheers and appreciation, it makes me feel like I'm really doing something. So a lot of times as women, we do and we do and we do, but no one says, well done. And no one really gives us ourselves back, gives us our sense of ourselves back. And writing online really enabled some of the women to receive that sense of appreciation and accomplishment. Gaining courage. So gaining courage is one of the main things. In the workshop, we learned not to be afraid. Again, fear. I'm a woman. So what? It's good. I've learned to love the crowd without fear. The workshop helped me not to be afraid. It's a good idea. It was very significant for me. I took the remember that not all the people in the workshop speak English fluently. It was very significant for me because it took the courage to start being a media activist, which is very unnatural to me. And first of all, I understand the importance of it and why I need to work on it, and also the courage to do it. As if I said, fire and, as if, like you said, fire and forget, shager v'shlach. It's like you write something and you send it and you say okay with it, not to be afraid. And here is another example, and I think it mainly gave me the courage to start and publish things I do. Before that, let's say I didn't post that I was at the conference, gave me the courage to do it. And another example, in my PhD, I have experienced a situation where I'm sent to conferences outside university, even abroad. For example, my supervisor wanted to send me to a prestigious 2-month course. In order to be accepted, I had to write about myself and my goals. Although I was not accepted to the course, the workshop still helped me a lot and gave me direction. So we also practice how to write your CV, how to write about yourself, how to present yourself, and really this allowed her to feel more at natural doing that. And finally, strengthening one's sense of voice. Was there a particular message that at the workshop that you took away with you? Believe in yourself. Your voice matters in the world. This is really one of the most significant points. And bon nireh, another one, I was ashamed to post things. I don't post things about myself either. I have always avoided publicity. They wanted to interview me several times about my research, and I refused. A lot of times, as was said here, women don't feel confident. And I realized that there is a tool to bring my research to a wider audience. People don't know. I'm still in the process. I post that I'm going to a conference. I'm not quite there. It is still difficult for me to talk about my research. It is a process. So to conclude, before the intervention process, we can see a negative cycle that is also mentioned in the concept of the leaky pipeline, which is often used to describe women in STEM field. A lot of women starting, and slowly they leave the field. So what causes this? From what I research, it's experiences of loneliness, isolation, loss of sense of self-efficacy, belief in yourself, and eventually you say, I'm not good enough, and you leave. And what changed in the positive cycle is that you create a sense of belonging and identification. We all need that. And you start to believe yourself in your ability to do things, and it normalizes the place of women in the field. So thank you very much.